Okay, let's be honest. As a member of the Tokusatsu community, we all hear two things. Number one, the most obnoxious thing. That's Power Rangers. I'm not gonna get into that because I've already made a video about that. P.S. Please check it out. Number two, man, those weird Power Ranger things are too silly and childish for me to watch. Kisama! Almost every superhero you see on TV or in movies are from comic books. Comic books were intended for literal children, or at least originally. If you don't see the similarity between comic books and tokusatsu, you must be blind. A spider-clad warrior? A spider-clad warrior. A guy who beats people up in a bad costume? A guy who beats people up in a bad costume. A man who grows big? We have that in spades. Oh, and if you like anime, especially shonen anime, guess what, motherfucker? Shonen anime is made for people between the ages of 13 to 18 years old. If you are 19 years old or older, you don't have the right to say, that's too childish for me. You literally read slash watch media made for children. Do you want some examples of similarities between anime and tokusatsu? Basically Sun Wukong, basically Sun Wukong. Pirates looking for a legendary treasure, pirates looking for a legendary treasure. A dead orange guy, a kinda also dead orange guy. A good-hearted protagonist who's put through a variety of horrifying and traumatic experiences, including the death of their close comrades, which later spiral into the protagonist in question becoming God at the end of their series, which also includes a convoluted time travel story. Yeah, that might have happened at least once. There are loads of similarities or straight-up inspirations that Tokusatsu has had on media, both Western and Japanese. Those were just the ones that stood out to me the most. Anyways, if your only other argument is, but this is a glorified toy commercial. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It really is a glorified toy commercial. Isn't that right, Broly? Sure thing. What about you, Aquaman? Yeah, I certainly agree. Big kiss. Whether or not it was made for kids, teenagers, or adults, or if it's an anime or a video game or anything else, pretty much all fictional properties were meant to sell some sort of merchandise. And again, this includes franchises with the target audience between 18 to 35. Tokusatsu is not any different. It just makes it more obvious that you're supposed to buy the toys. And what I don't understand is how people can genuinely take a man getting angry and turning into a big green monster is serious, and a fruit samurai trying to stop an alien invasion is goofy. Like, what is the line between this is so serious and this is too silly? But at the same time, I kind of do understand. When looking at the Avengers and then comparing them to the Kamen Riders and Super Sentai, there's a stark difference between the two. One looks, for lack of a better word, realistic. The more plasticky looks slash designs of Henshin heroes comparative to the more high budget looks of the Avengers is almost night and day. Most tokusatsu series slash projects are usually a few leagues behind Hollywood productions, and that can be a big turnoff to people. However, in all caps in my script, yes. Why is it that MCU fans are dissatisfied and tokusatsu fans are still eating good? Well, the reason's a little complicated. So I got my friend to yap about why he thinks the MCU is flopping for its fans. Also, enjoy this footage of me playing Sonic Adventure 2.
So the reason MCU fans are feeling dissatisfied with the quality MCU right now, I feel has to do with a few things. High budget standards, too many connected shows slash movies, and overall the same formula that hasn't been changed in years, even after Endgame. Well, I feel something with Tokusatsu and the Tokusatsu fans, for them it's a little easier because each series, yeah, sure, they'll have callbacks to like old shows. Maybe they'll bring an old character onto a new series or a current series being watched. But and by no means means that you have to go and watch that series. It's more of a kind of a tease or an advertisement, like, hey, go check out this series. You like this series? Check that out. But it's not necessary. While the MCU, people are kind of pressured and kind of a lot of them feel obligated to have to go back and watch all those other movies leading up to like maybe something big like Endgame. They feel like you have to, and I don't blame them because you kind of do. If you skip a certain movie, you're just going to be left out of the loop. While having a self-contained story is just a lot easier to deal with. You can change it up however you want, and uh, honestly, the standards could be all over the place. Well, maybe the last series wasn't that good. Maybe the future series could be even better. A whole new concept, new suits, new actors. I mean, it's a fresh start. The MCU has not changed anything, and I think that's what's really hurting it, especially with high Hollywood budget standards. Just like how people nowadays want the newest high-end graphics on like maybe like a video game, and they want to see like the pores on the skin of someone. Well, you have something like Nintendo where they just have simple like your simple Mario's or something like that. I don't want to get too off track here, but what I'm saying is like people are used to the standard of like, hey, it's just a game. All I have to do is like play it. This is nice. All it needs is to be fun. Tokusatsu is just fun to watch. Good fight scenes. They may not have the highest budgets in the world, but the fights are well choreographed. Feel the actors are usually pretty decent in those series. While in the MCU, the quality is all over the place, and when that standard is not met, it's just shit to people. It isn't good. Even if the writing is okay, if they don't have that high quality standard, a high quality level of effects they used to, they're they're just gonna dog on it.
So, what did we learn in class today? Well, firstly, a majority of nerdy projects are glorified toy/merchandise commercials. Secondly, there's a double standard of what a mature or cool superhero is. And number three, give Tokusatsu a chance.